Hello and welcome back to the channel. Well, worry, darling. September box office plummets to the worst level in 25 years. So what is going on here? Well, we're going to get into that right now. So without further ado, let's get into this article. Why could this be? Well, maybe it's because we're seeing the same things now that we were seeing in 2019. When this sort of shtick was at its heyday. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Maybe you like the other variant. If you don't go see this movie, you're supporting the narrative that... And then insert some woke narrative like black women cannot lead the box office globally. If you don't support this, you're a racist. Or maybe if you don't see this movie, you're a misogynist. Look, people have to buy tickets to this movie. This movie has to make money. If this movie doesn't make money, it reinforces the stereotype that, in Hollywood, that men don't go see women do action movies. It's the same thing that they were doing back in 2019 when, of course, the spectacular failure from Elizabeth Banks' Charlie's Angels, a woke crap film, debuted and was estimated to debut at $10 million, but didn't even make $9 million. And then later on, these people begin their revisionist history and claim that no, the film wasn't ever woke, this wasn't my idea, I didn't do this, this was somebody else's fault. There was a disconnect in the marketing. Yeah, regardless of the fact that at the time you put out interview after interview talking about the feminism in the movie because, yeah, that's going to attract people. All of these things, like if you don't see this movie, then they're nothing more than guilt trips. So I hope you've packed your bags because that's ultimately what they want you to do. They want you to come see their movie or get the fuck out because they don't want you if you don't support their narrative. So now let's jump over to this article, which talks a little more about what's really going on in Hollywood. And in September of this year, woke movies drive September box office to the lowest in 25 years. This article comes to us courtesy of Breitbart and John Nolte. Thanks to a slate of off-putting woke-tard movies, September's box office is the lowest since 1997. With just $275 million grossed in North America in September, this will be the first September since 1997, with a monthly total less than $350 million. Now, I'd love to see how, let's say, one movie probably will break that record single-handedly within the next month. Mark my words. To date, the running total for September 2022 is 20% behind last year's pace and 52% behind the pace set this month in 2019, when the old Hollywood machine was spewing out more stuff than a hungover individual given a nice X-Lax hot cocoa.
If I get through this without scratching from one end or the other, it'll be a miracle.
Now, even last year, 2021, when theaters were just getting back into business, the September gross was $367 million. Now, last year is widely considered the recovery year, the actual recovery year. This is when things started to reopen, and so this year should be pretty much back to normal, but it hasn't played out that way entirely. So what happened? What went wrong? Well, the lying entertainment media will tell you there wasn't enough releases in September, but that's simply not true. By my count, nearly 40 feature films were released in September. 10 of those films were in wide release, so wow, 10 films. So tell me again how there's not enough releases. The comedy, Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul, was released 3 weeks ago into 1,880 theaters and has grossed $2.65 million. Could yet another oh-so-tired and cliched Hollywood production mocking Christianity have something to do with that? Yeah, look, if you're gonna make a movie that mocks the majority religion in the United States, then maybe you shouldn't be surprised when it doesn't turn out so well. So who is the audience for this? Well, remember when comedies were made for everyone? Now, what we've received this month was, well, for example, The Woman King that I've already mentioned here. This was supposed to be a Black Panther-esque movie. Instead, over 2 weeks in, it's made a little over $37 million after being released in a whopping 3,765 theaters. So just a tad under $10,000 a theater. That's pretty terrible. Maybe that's because instead of it being marketed as a rousing, crowd-pleasing, universal action movie that happens to feature women, it was instead sold as Black Girl Empowerment Strike Against Whitey. It was also outed as a big fat lie. As it turns out, the heroic tribe of Amazons depicted here in reality were brutal, let's just say, brutal people who captured other people and then exchanged them with Europeans. Don't Worry, Darling opened in 4,113 theaters and has grossed just over $21 million in 5 days. Fortunately, this movie was marketed as an attack on, of course, the patriarchy instead of a mystery thriller that everyone could enjoy. Certainly the press around Olivia Wilde and the things that she's been doing and the things that she said in regards to Shia LaBeouf certainly haven't made me want to go and watch this movie and support her as an actor or a director. Let's just say when someone posts an alternative version of events and has the receipts to back it up, then I'm gonna tend to believe what they said over what Olivia Wilde said. One thing's for sure, she shut up real quick, and that's probably the smartest thing she's ever done, because most people, most of these wokies, get in trouble by not knowing when to shut the fuck up. Why would anyone pay $12, well, more like 20 now, to be insulted for 2 hours? Why would anyone go to all the trouble to receive a lecture and be yelled at for 2 hours? Now, that's a really good point. People want to go to the movie theater and they want escapism. They want to get away from the lecturing. They want to get away from the SJW sermons, which is why movies like this inevitably don't do well. The other problem is movies like this literally embed the woke message into their storyline. They sacrifice the story for the message. Don't believe me? Well, even if you do, don't worry, because they'll just gaslight you later on and tell you, no, it wasn't about the message. There was no narrative here. But in reality, you'll be able to look up an old interview where they say one of the ingredients of this movie was supporting and believing all women. We literally have a character who's essentially working at a big corporation and is not being believed or listened to by her bosses. One of the statements this movie was making is that you should probably believe women. Yeah, so they basically inject their message into whatever movie they're working on. It's embedded in the story. The story is the message and the message is the story. And guess what? People just don't enjoy it. People want escapism. They just want to go to the movies and they want to have fun because, well, the world and reality sucks enough as it is, so maybe just let us have a moment to escape our burdens. Hollywood is so demented that the industry is advertising and promoting its movies as woke, insulting, alienating, and partisan. Basically, you are being told in advance that you are not welcome here. This movie isn't for you. Stay away. Yeah, this is the kind of marketing that you see now. Now this is not official marketing by She-Hulk or Disney, but this is a Stan fan account that will then go and push this kind of messaging. Sorry, not all content is made for you. The implication being that if you don't like this, then you must be an incel. Can't just be a person who doesn't like the show. There must be something wrong with you. And now Hollywood just suffered its worst September in a quarter of a century. And were it not for the non-woke Top Gun Maverick, this entire summer would have been a box office catastrophe. And I 100% agree with that sentiment. Yeah, a lot of people have said Top Gun Maverick is actually a woke film simply because it features female characters and people of color. And someone said, I liked this movie and that's why it's woke, because I'm a liberal person. But in the same statement, mention that their conservative parents also liked it, which is kind of the proof that it's obviously not woke. Just because it has women in it, there were female instructors in the first movie. Just because there's people of color, there were people of color in the first movie. I mean, also people who were instructors or in supervisory positions at the Top Gun Academy. So again, tell me how that means that it's woke. It's not. The message has not been injected and sacrificed for storytelling. It's definitely not woke. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Why is September the worst box office in 25 years? Is it because all the movies were woke? Or do you believe that there's another reason why September was such a bad month? Let me know down below. In the meantime, if you want to continue to smash the narrative, then smash the like, share, and subscribe buttons. We're making a push for 1,000 subscribers, so every subscription counts. If you like the content you see, then please do help out. That's all I have for now, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.